10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Game number 2 of the evening from the Lloyd E. Scott Gymnasium, and it seems the host team, the Seymour Owls, take on a team that has called this place home for the better part of the last 4 or 5 years, especially during the month of March. It is number 3 New Albany, led by Mr. Basketball candidate and heavy favorite Romeo Langford. Alongside Jan Bozier, Greg Rakestraw with you on the IHSAA Champions Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. The Bulldogs come in at 21-1, recipients of the bye. We have seen them lose their one game this year. That was in overtime at Floyd Central, 49-47. This is quite the difficult team to stop because Romeo Langford is, simply put, one of the best high school players this state has ever seen.
No doubt about it. He's, a lot of times you hear different players and the things that's said about him. He's that and more, maybe, and he handled it so gracefully. A lot of young men could not handle the pressure in which he has put on his shoulders, and it seems to almost thrive in these big pictures. I look for him to have a big one tonight, Greg.
Romeo on the season averaging 37 points a game, just a shade under 10 rebounds a contest, 56% from the field, 36% from three-point range, nearly 4 steals, nearly 4 assists a game, over 3 steals a game, 83% from the line, is the 4th leading scorer in the history of Indiana high school basketball. His running mate, Sean East, is a fantastic player in his own right as well. This is the 16th game that Romeo has played in this building because of the sectional, regional, and potentially semi-state games that get played here in this tremendous venue. For the Seymour Owls, this is one of the best seasons they have had in a while. It has been a period of struggle for Seymour. They are 12-11 on the season. However, when these two teams played at New Albany in mid-December, the Bulldogs won by 43. What must the Owls do to shock the basketball world this evening?
Yeah, I think the word shock would be pretty appropriate. Here's the deal. Here's a team in Seymour that averages just 50. New Albany averages 80. So, obviously, Seymour can't play at that pace. So I would say the pace has to be controlled. Certainly easier said than done. Now the question not only for Seymour, but anybody that plays New Albany, do you try to shut down Romeo and let everybody else beat you? Or do you let everybody else let Romeo beat you and shut everybody else down?
This is not the first rodeo, so to speak, for these young men from Seymour, just because they're mostly seniors that play for head coach Tyler Phillips. So they have faced him in years previous. The results, though, have not been good. The last time that Seymour knocked off New Albany was back in 2005. Starting lineups, opening tip-off, come your way in a matter of moments here on the IHSAA Champions Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance.
This is old you. And this is now you. Things change. Your insurance should too. Talk to an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent, and now you can stop knocking on wood.
I want to give a special thank you to the great staff at Seymour that have been so gracious to welcome us into this building many times over the years, but especially today, knowing the type of tremendous crowds that we will be seeing here at the Lloyd E. Scott Gymnasium. Kirk Manns is the Director of Athletics at Seymour, a fantastic high school player for our friend Dave McCullough at North Judson St. Pierre before playing for the late Judd Heathcote at Michigan State. His assistant AD is an old college buddy of mine in Dave Urbanski. Thanks to them and the dozens of other folks from Seymour that have played a role, and they take such great pride in hosting 8,000 of their friends seemingly on a nightly basis when it comes to postseason basketball here in South Central Indiana.
What a great venue. New Albany now being introduced, the real New Albany, not the fake one that I said earlier. This is the real one. Boy, I'll tell you. One of the things you talked about is his sidekick, East, who averages over 18. And when we seen them play last time, East is a little bit, kind of the diamond in the rough. He's a really good player, but nobody talks about him.
We've referenced Romeo Langford, rather obvious. He's going to be in the starting five. Let's tell you the other starters. Again, Sean East has been the running mate for Romeo for these last few years. He's a great player in his own right. 19 points, 3 boards, 5 assists a game. Oh, by the way, 50% three-point shooter is Sean East. The other 3 players that flank him are role players, guys that are asked to do their job, and they do it well. Derek Stevenson, a 6'1 junior, 7 points a game. Julian Hunter, a 6'3 sophomore, 7 points and 6 boards a game. And Trey Hurrigan, a 6'5 sophomore, 6 points and 5 rebounds a game.
For Seymour, they have absolutely nothing to lose, obviously. They can play loose. They have to play hard. They've got to really challenge New Albany on the boards. But quite honestly, they have nothing to lose. They know the world's watching. And boy, what a story it would make if somehow they could be close and have a shot at New Albany. And I think they know that. There's no pressure on them.
The all-senior starting 5 for the Owls, led by Ty McCoy. They're leading at score at 5'11", 13 points a contest. He's an outstanding 3-point shooter at 43%. Alan Perry, their point guard at 6'2", 12.5 points, 4 boards, and an outstanding 6 assists a game. He too solid from behind the line at 37%. The center is Tiller Cummings. You see him in the center of your screen. A 6'6 senior, 10 points and 6.5 boards a game. In the front court, Zach Moore, a 6'3 senior at 5.5 points a game. And the lineup rounded out by Eddie Loudon, a 5'11 senior, 4 points and 4 rebounds a game. Our 3-man officiating crew, Kevin Crispin, Brian Voss, and Sean West. We thank you for joining us here on the IHSAA Champions Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. And Tiller Cummings can't pull down his tap.
Nope.
Can't do that.
That's a turnover.
So with that, New Albany will have the basketball to start things off here in this game. Let's see what Seymour devises defensively. It is Zach Moore that temporarily draws the assignment on Romeo Langford. And it appears to be maybe a box and one, which is not exactly unfamiliar for Romeo Langford and company. Hunter down low off the screen, blocked, but Langford gets the rebound. The putback misses it. Hurrigan is there and finally scores. And the last thing that Seymour can do is allow multiple looks at the basket for New Albany.
Yeah, you got to check out for sure. New Albany will crash the glass, and they can really elevate.
Romeo Langford, we mentioned the fact that he's just under 10 boards a game. He is not only New Albany's leading scorer, rather obvious when you're the 4th scorer in state history, he's also the program's leading rebounder. Steal by New Albany. And Langford kicks it to Stevenson for 3. That does not go. The rebound corralled by Alan Perry for Seymour. Elbow jump shot is an air ball. Zach Moore the miss. Catch and shoot 3, Romeo. Does not go. And then again, extra possession. Hurrigan will track down the loose ball for New Albany. Good read by Cummings to knock that ball away. First New Albany turnover.
Not a real good start for the Bulldogs.
New Albany, as Jan mentioned, averaging 82 points a game. They're outscoring opponents by 31 points a game. That leads the state in margin of victory. Only Evansville Bosse, who played in this building in the semi-state a year ago, averages more points per game than New Albany, as they score 84 a night. And Julian Hunter will pick up the foul, his first.
Well, one of the options against New Albany is holding the ball. The problem with that is New Albany is so quick defensively, usually it doesn't end up being a good option.
Good luck with that. This New Albany team averaging nearly 11 steals per game. They've already got 1. Seymour spacing the floor, not sure this is a full-blown stall. But again, New Albany has seen a little bit of everything the last 4 years with the talented Mr. Langford on the team. Here comes the half-court trap. Ball knocked free by Hurrigan. And stolen back by Seymour, the sophomore. Probably better service to let that ball go out of bounds. But instead, He steps on the baseline and gives it right back, and both teams have turned it over twice. And for New Albany, Langford and East are the only seniors that see regular playing time. Savion Southers will get some playing time as well. This is largely a young team around their tremendously talented, experienced backcourt. East throws it up. Langford made that look easy, did he not?
Yes, he did. That will be one of, I'm guessing, a few dunks we'll see out of him tonight. He can really elevate.
Another steal by the Bulldogs. That's now 4 quick giveaways. East, as we mentioned, a 50% three-point shooter. It is 7-0, and not the start the Owls had envisioned here in their own building. There is a corner of purple. There is a wall of red in this joint. The Albany fans have been putting in the miles for the last 4 years. Steal. Langford, hello.
Shot number 2.
4 for Romeo Langford. All of the aerial impressive variety. And the chunk of Floyd County that's not wearing green, all standing and applauding for Romeo Langford.
They come here to see the dunk fest, the shoot fest, you name it, and he can do it, and he does it very well.
It is a full timeout taken by the Owls. So Romeo will not move up a spot in the all-time scoring list tonight. Probably not tomorrow night. Maybe by the end of the region round, if they can get past this game, Floyd Central, Bloomington South, Center Grove, ever comes out of from Evansville, etc. But to let you know the idea of those that are in front of him, he has 150-plus points to get the next group. Deshaun Thomas, who played at Ohio State, 30-18 in his days at Fort Wayne Bishop Lures. Marion Pierce from Louisville, now part of Tri-High School, 30-19 back in 1961. And, of course, Damon Bailey, 3,134 points back in 1990.
Yeah, you look at that Damon Bailey number, and that's an amazing number. And to think that perhaps somebody had a shot at it.
That might be out of the reach for Romeo, even with his supersonic skill set. As the pressure cranks up yet again, and I have got that now as 6 Seymour turnovers in 3 minutes. Langford draws 2 sets of eyes, blows past one, off 1 foot. A little strong, but New Albany's getting every offensive rebound. And East has hit both jump shots he's taken.
And we've seen him before this year during the season against Floyd Central, and he's a really nice shooter.
Seymour is offering little in the way of resistance right now as East gets the steal. The sophomore Harrigan lays it up and in. You worry about this one being lopsided. Not sure that was going to be this lopsided this early. 14-0 in favor of New Albany, nearly 4 minutes in. Cummings on the bounce, blocked by Harrigan.
I think if you're New Albany, you'd like to put this one away early and maybe save some of your starters a little bit for the next game, assuming it continues to go this direction, and I think it is.
Hunter with the dunk, and against so many sets of Seymour eyes went towards Langford. Hunter all alone down the lane. That is 3 dunks so far for New Albany players. It's been 3s by East and layups or dunks for everybody else. Ball was knocked away from Loudon, tried to get it to Cummings, taken away by New Albany. East again.
Yeah.
The result is the same. 9 for East, 19-0 New Albany.
X Factor, diamond in the rough, whatever you want to call him, he is really good.
Perry's shot will not go. And on the break comes New Albany. Romeo Langford in traffic. Kicks to a teammate at East one more time. Maybe a little too far from the basket that time for East. McCory races back, draws the foul, and gets the basket.
There you go. You know, to the point, what you also like about Romeo Langford is his willingness to still pass the ball when so many different times you know he can shoot it. He's always kind of looking still for his teammates, and that's what I really like about him.
McCoy, their leading scorer for the Owls at 13.5 points a game, a 76% free throw shooter. And rattles that one in. And Seymour on the board. Seymour beat Jennings County on Tuesday night, 52-47. They ensure that at worst it'll be a 500 season for the Owls for the first time in 8 years. Langford drives baseline. That ball off the side of the backboard, and a third New Albany turnover.
Turnover against Romeo.
Last winning season for Seymour came 11 years ago. And again, it is just trying to push the rock up the hill to beat the likes of New Albany, Floyd Central, and Jeffersonville. And Eddie Loudon have struggles just getting the ball in the front court. Does so now, all the way down, but layup is left short. Off to the races comes New Albany. East, Langford, 3 in the corner.
Got it. You know, their press is really stifling. You know, you don't hear a lot about it, but they really trap well out of this full court pressure.
Length of the court pass, Loudon will track it down. New Albany already 4 made threes here in the quarter. Perry all the way down and score. Alan Perry with the bucket. The Seymour are finding a couple of baskets offensively. No answers defensively. That might be the best answer. Have a guy not named Romeo or East shooting a three-pointer.
True. You talk about that. That's what I would choose. See if everybody else can beat me.
The margin of victory for New Albany in their last 8 games on average, 45.5 points.
It's amazing. Those are amazing numbers.
No one has been within 25 of them since mid-January. Foul is called against Derek Stevenson. And 3 free throws coming up for Ty McCory. Get a look at Jim Shannon on your screen, just the other side of the backboard. Jim now 8th amongst active coaches in career wins at 542. 24th in IHSAA history. McCory misses the first of the 3 free throws.
Greg, you look at the different teams that Romeo has played with, and how on each team he's kind of taken a little bit of a different position. You know, he kind of plays a 3 on this team. Where early on he played 2 and 1.
Starks will check in. Stevenson will check out. His freshman year, New Albany, beaten here by Evansville Rights in the regional. State champs in 2016, first for New Albany in 43 years in boys basketball. And last year knocked off by Castle here in this building in the regional final. McCory now with 4, the Seymour 6. Langford for 3. Tried to draw some contact, didn't get the whistle. Extra rebound, extra shot, and East has made 4 threes in the quarter.
Boy, East is just flat out dialed in right now.
I'm not sure if there was much doubt going into this one. New Albany leaving no doubt to start this one. East temporarily picks the pocket of Loudon. Now Perry on the attack. Stumbles and scores.
Oh, what a nice shot. Really well done. Took it strong to the hoop, laid it in.
Can't block your shot when you're stumbling, apparently. Langford had it poked away, but it goes right to a teammate. And Hunter, the beneficiary. This New Albany team has scored 100 points on 4 previous occasions this year. They've crossed the 90-point threshold 3 additional times. And they are on that pace here early in the contest. Of course, the question becomes, how long do you play your starters?
Yeah.
Knowing you got to play Floyd Central tomorrow night. Loudon, backdoor cut and scores.
And I think that's some of the reason for the pressing and try to get this one as out of hand as quickly as possible. Certainly, if you can rest your starters some, that can be helpful.
Seymour now is finding the basket. It's those pesky stops that are a problem. 10 seconds left to go here in the quarter. East again. Not that time. Pushing the back by Tiller Cummings. It'll remain New Albany ball. And East 4 of 6 now from 3-point range in the first 7+ minutes.
He really helps take the pressure off, a little pressure, I guess I should say. The night that we've seen Romeo play Floyd Central, he really had a nice ball game in their only loss.
Christopher Johnson checks in for New Albany. Catch and shoot 3. Langford, no. And that is the end of the quarter. East with 12, Langford with 7. And New Albany leads by 17. 27-10 after 1 on the IHSAA Champions Network. Presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance.
This is old you. And this is now you.
Clive wears his fire hat and coat in the rain.
Things change. Your insurance should too. Talk to an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent. And now you can stop knocking on wood.
Our broadcast day service of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. You know every word to your school's fight song. You can't remember your agent's last name. Let us help you know what you have and what you need. Find a local agent at infarmbureau.com. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood. Romeo Langford's been impressive, but frankly, it's also been Sean East. 4 threes and a couple of steals. A team effort for sure for New Albany to build a 17-point early lead.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say, 27-10, but to New Albany standards, I didn't think they pressed very hard. They came out and they just make it, maybe they just make it look so easy. But, you know, Seymour made a couple shots driving in. I mean, what do you say?
Jack Roberts in the game now for Seymour, junior reserve. Perry on the drive, got bumped and one. Well, clearly, Seymour has now figured out some things offensively, and if you're Jim Shannon, you're leading by 15, but I don't think you're like what you're seeing from your team in the half-court defense right now.
I think if you find something, you continue to go to it, I should say. New Albany did not do a very good job of help side defense at all on that drive.
But Seymour can ill afford to leave points at the line. East was open for a moment, turns down the three. Ball ends up in the hands of Johnson on the far right side. Seymour has missed 3 free throws so far. Max Oddie checks in. And his welcome assignment to the game, hey, go guard Romeo Langford.
He says, who'd you say? Hey,
29-12. All the way down the lane.
Nice
Roberts
pass.
waits for Romeo and puts it up and over.
Hey, Seymour making a little run here. I like it.
Seymour has scored 14 points in the last 4 minutes. Langford does not get the roll. Good tip, though, by Starks. Extra pass, Hunter, who will lay it up and in. And frankly, the biggest story right now for New Albany is they're getting almost every missed shot.
That is the story, because quite honestly, Romeo Langford has been off a little bit here, but it really doesn't matter when they get second, third opportunities.
Langford got a piece of that. Ball out of bounds to New Albany. New Albany drew the bye. They last played last Friday against Bloomington North. That game in Bloomington, and they win by 41 for the Bulldogs. That has been kind of their MO as of late. And their lone loss in overtime at Floyd Central, 49-47, December the 8th. Roberts goes right at Langford. Langford ties him up. Possession arrow means a turnover. Seymour has 9 of those, but is their first since the kind of early stages of the quarter. If you're just joining us, yes, it went that poorly for Seymour to start the game.
Romeo Langford there showing us how quick those hands were.
New Albany Seymour rather had 6 turnovers in the first 3 minutes of the game. East the lead for Johnson. He'll fire a 3 and no good, but
there it is again.
And we told you this before. Offensive rebounds a key for New Albany, and Hunter, who averages 6 boards a game, will go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Seymour just not able to get in rebounding position to check out here. If they could get anything from the rebounding perspective, they'd certainly help their cause, because quite honestly, New Albany now not shooting the ball super great.
Hunter, a 51% shooter on the season from the line. He is a remarkable 77% from the floor, because pretty much his shots are collecting loose change, putting the ball back up and in. Sophomore's free throw is good. So he's got 7, already above his average. Well, Albany scored the first 19 points and kind of had it on cruise control since then. Perry the driving dish. Roberts lost it. Turnover committed by Seymour, their 10th. Starks for 3. Does not go. And Roberts the rebound.
Much better position that time for Seymour.
Right now, about as quiet as you would expect 8,000 people to be.
And they were pretty loud just a few minutes ago now.
After the opening flourish. And that's turnover by Seymour. Good hands by Starks. That is the third turnover by Seymour in the quarter. Tiller Cummings sat briefly with 2 fouls. He'll come back in. Tyler Phillips, the head coach at Seymour. This is his second season. He spent 2 years at South Spencer before taking this job. 52-44 in 4 years as a high school basketball coach. The Owls last year 9-15. Little give and go for Langford. Knocked away by Seymour, then tracked back down by Sean East. East has been fantastic. Alley-oop, and Romeo Langford throws it home.
That's one of the things among so many that he can do. He elevates, great hands.
He's got 11, 6 by way of balls he put in personally over the rim.
Yes.
And the lead grows back to 20.
And makes it look easy.
Well, there's that too. A straight man-to-man here by New Albany. There's Max Oddie, one of the reserves, a senior, good three-point shooter. Owls have yet to make a three. And their looks have been going to the rim just because New Albany has been aggressive defensively and opened up some driving lanes, like right there.
Yeah.
But a miss by Alan Perry. And Sean East for his 5th three to match his uniform number.
Well, he continues to be impressive.
And 50% three-point shooter on the season is East. He's better than that tonight. He's 5 of 7.
Yeah, he's shooting the ball with a lot of confidence right now.
Loudon on the drive, lost the handle. Another turnover by Seymour. Langford sizing up his options. Tried to call his own number. He and Cummings bump into each other. Here's everybody's all right. And it'll be, I believe, Seymour basketball. Aiden Goen will check in. 6-foot sophomore. McCory will check back in as well. By the way, that is the 5th turnover committed by New Albany. They turn it over less than 8 times a game. Really think you're going to press a New Albany team with Romeo Langford? Seymour's been sitting on 14 now for a couple minutes. And that continues as Cummings misses his first good look. Senior averaging 10 points a game. Langford draws the double team, kicks to East, and right in front of the Seymour bench.
He's having a field day, Greg.
East with 18. Personally, he has outscored Seymour. It's now 40-14.
They make it look easy, don't they?
That's going to be over and back as Goen caught that ball with his foot on the midcourt stripe. Hurrigan will check back in now for New Albany.
Well, you'd like to have some magic information you can say, here, do this, do that. If you're Seymour, it's just not there.
The thing is, if you rotate more people towards East,
yeah, you just
now you leave Langford with some looks.
Pick your poison.
As evidenced by that one, Langford with a smooth 13.
That's why I clearly believe East is so important to this ball club.
9 in a row now for the Bulldogs. That continues as Perry didn't get the shot to go. Spots up again. It is a shooting gallery for Sean East.
Oh, my word!
21 for East. 7 threes.
Mr. East is still in the show.
McCory got it. And that is what McCory does well for Seymour. And it'll be a 30-second timeout taken by New Albany. And again, this, like we said earlier, it kind of went back to what one was used to for New Albany. If you were being really nitpicky and up 28 in the second quarter, you're being really nitpicky. And that is say, hey, we're not exactly happy what you're seeing on some defense. It's a chance for Jim Shannon to make sure he got his kids' attention, finish strong going to halftime.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say? I mean, they just make it look so easy in the process. You kind of wonder how hard they're pressing because they're just so effortless, if you will, in how they go about it. And
We hope you enjoy tonight's state tournament action. Help make sure the resources are available so that great events like these can be played forever by supporting the IHSAA Foundation. Go to IHSAAfoundation.org and make a tax-free contribution today. Romeo, three-pointer.
The people scouting New Albany now all of a sudden, they knew East existed, but now he's putting on a show to say, hey, you better not leave me open from three-point line.
Perry on the drive. He is fouled before the shot. Fifth foul against the Bulldogs. That will go against Johnson, his second. Ball out of bounds to Seymour. Albany has scored 80 or more in 7 of their last 8 games. They're on that pace tonight. Steele, look ahead pass East. He'll take his first 2-point basket of the night on a layup. 15 Seymour turnovers. And the beat goes on for New Albany.
Yes, it does.
As they have frankly laid waste to the back half of their schedule. The last competitive game they played was against Princeton of Ohio. The game was telecast on ESPNU. On January the 19th, they won in overtime 65-64. Before that, they played a very good Silver Creek team from 3A at Bankers Life Fieldhouse on January the 6th and won that game by 8. They also have a 6-point win that stands out from late December because they won that game without Romeo Langford. It's the one game he missed this year due to a hand injury, and they won that game at the Bears by 6.
You can see both of his hands are taped.
And he missed a couple of games with a finger injury last year, too. And that's going to be a reach-in foul against the Bulldogs. And once again, 16 fouls, so out of bounds to Seymour.
Yeah, he gets a lot of tough screens, and I'm sure that body has taken enough shots this year to come through it with really no more than he's really got right now.
The standing ovation for Sean East as he takes a seat. Anthony Urban will check in. Perry's 3 misses. Loose ball touched last by New Albany. It remains Seymour basketball. New Albany's record during Romeo's 4 seasons, 96-8. So for all the tremendous numbers that Romeo has posted, how about the fact that he could pick up triple-digit victories while in high school? Loudon on the bounce.
You know,
Jennifer Cummings knocked away.
You think about those type of special athletes that come through every so often. A lot of really good athletes, but the ones you kind of reference as special, every so often you get those types of, the Damon Baileys, the Romeo Langfords that draw this type of national recognition.
Final half minute now of the quarter. And having grown up in the area, now living in Indianapolis for the last quarter century, I tell people it's like getting to experience Damon Bailey a second time in Southern Indiana. The passion that you see in every gym, the demand for tickets, home and road in every gymnasium. Step through by Perry, no. Langford weaving his way through traffic, little pull-up 3, does not go. Rebound in time, yes. Hornigan got the basket. New Albany, a 35-point lead at halftime as the Bulldogs certainly appear on their way to a rematch with Floyd Central 24 hours from now. We'll take this quick timeout, come back and begin the halftime show as you're watching the IHSAA Champions Network presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to IHSAAfoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
This is old you. And this is now you. Things change. Your insurance should too. Talk to an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent, and now you can stop knocking on wood.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Let's be honest, it's time to update your Pacers gear, right? You know, your jerseys, your hats, your gear. It's time to gear up in sports in blue and gold. Support the team or your favorite Pacers player with all the stuff you love. Shirts, hoodies, shorts, socks, jackets, and everything Hickory. New gear arrives all the time, so make sure you're sporting the current look. Buy at the game or buy online at PacersTeamStore.com. It's just that easy. 2 places to shop, 1 team. PacersTeamStore.com.
Alongside Jan Bozier, Greg Rakestraw with you. Let's thank our great crew here on the IHSAA Champions Network. Rick Vanderweilen, Heath Shanahan, JC Swertling. Guys, thank you very much for your hard work and effort to bring this broadcast to folks all around the world through IHSAATV.org and our various social media platforms. Romeo Langford's been outstanding, but Sean East has been the dominant story. 7 threes, 23 points in total, and dominant is the right word. New Albany scored the first 19 points. Seymour kind of kept up with him for about 4 or 5 minutes. New Albany kicked it back into gear again, and now Janet is a 35-point game at halftime. And a lot of fans starting to make their way to the exits already.
Yeah, New Albany does what New Albany does. And you know what I like about this East number, scoring 23 points, really high percentage. He didn't force much, and I don't know that he missed maybe 2. So his percentage shooting that 3 was outstanding.
By the way, this broadcast is a service of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Don't just hope you're covered in the event of an accident. Talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Find agents in every Indiana county at infarmbureau.com. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood. All right, so let's kind of go inside the respective huddles here. If you're Jim Shannon, this is frankly a common speech at this point, having a significant lead going into halftime. What do you want to see from your guys at half number 2?
Yeah, you're right. It is a speech that's very common to him because this is pretty familiar territory. But I think he reminds them, guys, let's play the game. We still need to play the game. Let's not get soft. Let's not take our foot off the pedal. Now, I think he's going to be respectful to the game,
sure,
if you understand what I mean. But still, he's got games to play, so you can't just not play the game and play it hard. And so I think he'll remind his kids of that. Play hard and be respectful to the game.
If your head coach Tyler Phillips, again, you've lived through this before, having played New Albany each of the last 2 regular seasons as a conference foe, what do you want to see from your kids in half number 2?
I think he's as much as they know what the score is, he's telling them stop looking at the scoreboard. Go play hard. We've had some success driving. If it's there, let's take it strong. You got to hit free throws and just try to be as positive. This is one of these situations where getting on kids not going to help anything. They're just clearly playing the better team in New Albany. So you just got to continue to play hard. And for the seniors on this ball club, hey, very good chance it's your last half of basketball. How hard are you going to play? And I think it'll challenge the seniors.
Let's update you on scores from elsewhere in Indiana. Big game in 1A. Southwood leading Lafayette Central Catholic 33-29. Big game in 2A at Paoli. Number 6 Henryville trailing Clarksville 18-17 at the end of 1 quarter. In 4A in the second quarter, Fort Wayne Southside leads Homestead by a score of 21-14. Warren Central leads North Central 28-25. That is with 1:15 left to go before halftime. Seymour, one of 2 high schools in this area. Trinity Lutheran is the other. And at halftime in Edinburgh, yes, halftime, they lead West Washington by a score of 11-6. A final from Northwestern Indiana in 2A. Bishop Knoll a winner over Whiting by a score of 76-52. At halftime in 3A, Northwestern leads Western 19-18. Winner gets West Lafayette in tomorrow night's championship game. In 3A at Lebanon, Lebanon defeats Southmont by a score of 68-65. At halftime in Beech Grove, outstanding game in 3A. Danville leading Indian Creek 22-17. In 4A, Zionsville leading Harrison at halftime 4 minutes ago in the second quarter. Zionsville leads Harrison 41-16. Isaiah Thompson scored the first 20 points for Zionsville. He has 29 for the game. In 2A, Eastern Green leads Mitchell 26-17. That is at halftime. In 1A, at halftime, University leads International School 19-13. In 3A, Memorial a winner over Gibson Southern 49-30. Memorial likely to play Bossy in tomorrow night's championship game of that one. After one quarter in 1A, North Vermilion leading Faith Christian 13-6. Those are just some of the scores from elsewhere across the state of Indiana tonight. In 4A, Bloomington South at the end of one quarter, leading East Central 17-8. After one quarter of play in 3A, Crispus Attucks leads Broad Ripple by a score of 12-11. A final from earlier in 2A, Switzerland County beats North Decatur 62-60. And currently in the second quarter, Southwestern leading South Decatur 24-13. There you go, some of the scores from elsewhere across the state of Indiana. Our score here at Seymour, all Bulldogs. They lead 52-17 as you're watching on the IHSAA Champions Network.
I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to IHSAAfoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
This is old you. And this is now you. Things change. Your insurance should too. Talk to an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent, and now you can stop knocking on wood.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Let's be honest, it's time to update your Pacers gear, right? You know, your jerseys, your hats, your gear. It's time to gear up in sports in blue and gold. Support the team or your favorite Pacers player with all the stuff you love. Shirts, hoodies, shorts, socks, jackets, and everything Hickory. New gear arrives all the time, so make sure you're sporting the current look. Buy at the game or buy online at PacersTeamStore.com. It's just that easy. 2 places to shop, 1 team. PacersTeamStore.com.
Again, our cameras will be back here tomorrow night for the championship game. Mark Janes will be in this seat next to Jan Bozier. Tomorrow night, 7 or 7:30 tip time?
I believe 7:30. 7:30, I'm told.
So our coverage will begin approximately 7:20, 7:25 tomorrow night here on the IHSAA Champions Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. It certainly appears as New Albany and Floyd Central will play for a second time this season. Floyd won in overtime back on December the 8th, 49-47. It was the first Floyd Central win against their school, corporation, and county rivals in some 14 years.
Yeah, that was a fun night. It was one of those storm the floor nights. Now the question is, assuming that that's the game, and we certainly assume it probably will be, can you do it twice?
Little half-court trap here by New Albany to get things started. There's a little zone trap by the Bulldogs. A 1-3-1 action here. Loudon turns it over. 16 unofficially for Seymour. East, deep three, why not?
Man,
made everything else.
He just flat out fills it. Give me the basketball. Boy, and the more that he can do that, that's a real, and he's been doing it all year, don't get me wrong, but especially on a big game like perhaps we'll see tomorrow, if he carries it over, that'll be big.
Looking for Cummings, pass taken away again. Horrigan tracks it down. Langford spots up for three. That goes two. Romeo's got 19. The lead is now 41. And Langford and East have combined for 45 of the 58 for the Bulldogs. McCory, little step back baseline jumper, and it does not go well for the Seymour senior. By the way, East had 30 2 weeks ago against Bedford North Lawrence. Stevenson can't get it to go, but Langford will track it down. East again.
Oh, you're killing me.
29 for Sean East. 9 threes for East. It was a 43-point game when the East teams played in December. Right now it's 44, and a timeout is given to Seymour, a 30-second timeout. Loudon trying to throw the ball off of a New Albany player. Hunter seems to be no worse the wear for it. 6:24 left to play here in the third quarter.
Well, certainly Tyler Phillips in his second year at Seymour. This is a tough one, but he's going to use this as a challenge to his kids, to his underclassmen, as he continues to work and build this program. You know, there's a lot of building when you have to build a program, and this is certainly a piece of it. This is tough. This is tough to take this type of score, but you just have to keep playing the ball game.
Tonight's game is service of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. You know every word of your school's fight song, but you can't remember your agent's last name. Let us help you know what you have and what you need. Find a local agent at infarmbureau.com. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood. East and Langford, both first team All Hoosier Hills Conference last year. Albany looking for their 5th consecutive sectional championship. They're frankly looking for a whole lot more than that.
Oh, yeah. That'll be tough because they are definitely the hunted.
By the way, only 3 teams have streaks longer than New Albany. They're one of several teams that have won 4 consecutive sectional titles. Greensburg and Liberty Christian have won 6 straight sectionals. Lafayette Central Catholic has won 16 in a row.
Yeah, they've been super dominant.
They were trailing Southwood in their 1A sectional. We'll keep an eye on that. Southwood 20-3 coming into tonight's game. Taylor Cummings on the drive, lost the handle. Saved by Hunter. Turnovers continue to mount for Seymour. Stevenson goes to the corner. Langford for 3. 22 for Romeo Langford. The 3-point barrage continues.
Yes, it does.
Langford has now made 4 threes in the game. East with 9. McCory for 3, no. 4 threes so far in this quarter for New Albany. 2 by Langford, 2 by East. That one short by Romeo. And Zach Moore, the rebound for the Owls. Seymour went about 5 minutes before they scored in the first quarter. In danger of doing that here. And that ball will be out of bounds to New Albany. East flying down the floor. Pull up shot, no. Rebound, Hunter, yes.
He said the pace of this game is starting to bother him, so he kicked on the Jets and said, let's go.
If you're East and Langford, you probably know your time in this game is not exactly long in the tooth.
Going to get what you can out of it.
And whenever those two guys have missed, Hunter and Horrigan have found the loose ball. Hunter's got 9, Horrigan's got 6. Hunter has attempted the only free throws of this game for New Albany. So they are up 66-17, having attempted 2 free throws in the game. Foul against the Bulldogs.
You know, a big thing for Coach Jim Shannon when you have a caliber and the notoriety of Romeo Langford is is to coach. Everybody understands their roles, and I think he's doing an outstanding job of it.
Steal by East, lays it up and in. East has 31 for the Bulldogs. And this is not the way the dream went in the minds of these Seymour players.
No.
A little 2-3 zone now being shown by New Albany. It's a Seymour team that won 12 times this year. Most wins they've had in a few years. Moore for three. No. And Horrigan the rebound now for New Albany. Langford, that's a deep two. No. Hunter will tip it up and in, but can't put it off the basket support like that. But that's rather indicative of the night for New Albany. Even the ones that don't count are impressive. As we mentioned, New Albany, 82 points per game. They shoot a remarkable 57% from the floor. As a team, 38% from three-point range. Frankly, better than that tonight. Loudon lost the handle. East for three. You're stunned when they don't go in. Perry to Loudon. Loudon got in a bad spot, but found Cummings. Cummings on the drive, got fouled. And Tiller Cummings will shoot 2 free throws. Last year, Seymour won a sectional game for the first time in 10 years, and they beat Jeffersonville in overtime. They have not played in a sectional final, have the Owls, since 2005.
Well, you have to go back a while. They've really had a tough few years here as far as winning records and things like that. There are a lot of schools that go through some cycles where just a little bit of a down period. That's kind of been where Seymour, they're trying to dig back into it.
Langford.
Look out.
Got fouled. 2 free throws coming up for Romeo. For Langford, these are the first free throws he will shoot this evening, which is a story in itself because he averages taking 9.5 free throws a game.
Everybody looks like they're all right. That's good news.
On the season, Romeo, an 83% shooter. Adi will check in for the Owls. And despite what the score says on the board, and this is a season where Seymour made some progress. Now the bad news is, their top, as Romeo misses, their top 6 scorers are seniors, so they're hitting the reset button next year.
Well, you hope that you took a step. What you want to do when you build a program is at least take a step, and I think they've done that.
Adi for 3. Doesn't get the roll. 1 made 3 so far by the Owls. That comes from Ty McCory. And Langford going to be called for steps.
Sure did.
Just the 6th New Albany turnover.
And that's the part that you don't want to see if you're New Albany, because you have a tendency to start doing things just a little soft, and then that soft turns into sloppy a little bit. Now I think that's one of the things Jim Shannon wants to guard against.
Cummings from the short corner. It's a good look that wouldn't go down. Cummings, the 3rd leading scorer for the Owls. Langford steps through, got bumped. 2 free throws coming. Foul on Cummings will be his 3rd. 2,874 points. That's the current career point total on the tracker for Romeo. Joked about this in the pairing show a couple of weeks ago, that Romeo, the team, and Jim Shannon ecstatic to have the bye. Romeo fans upset.
Yeah.
Cost one more game.
Cost him 1 game. Then, of course, he missed the game. There's a couple games. That could have been 100 points or 90, somewhere in there.
It might have been 150 at some of the clip he's been at this year, averaging 37 a game.
Who knows?
Last year, the Bulldogs 25-4. On the step through. 3 for McCory in the corner. Got it.
There you go. Good look.
McCory with 10. Langford sizing up his man. Little floater. Too strong. Only Jack Roberts and Aiden Goen that have appeared in this game for Seymour will return next year. 3 for Loudon. A little strong. The Seymour team went 2-5 in league play East. Misses, but Langford, the dunk and the foul.
I guess the question is obviously now there's that fine line between when you take out these type of players right here. You don't want to take them out too early. Not so much you're worried about the other team coming back, but you want them to be ready to play for tomorrow night. And not enough can hurt. Too much can slow you down. So there's a kind of that question coaching, how long? In a game like this, do you allow your starters to stay?
Langford with 28, East with 31. The lead is 52. Under a minute to play now in the quarter. Well, the losing streak for Seymour against New Albany will reach 18. Last sectional crown for the Owls coming in 1992. I believe that predates their membership in the Hoosier Hills Conference. They were still part of the old South Central Conference back then. It has been a rough go of it, but you see signs they're turning the corner.
Yeah.
Here in terms of their basketball program. Horrigan will check back in. Stevenson has a seat.
Which you're talking about teams like Jeffersonville that we've seen, Bedford North Loras, Columbus East, Seymour, Madison, Jennings County.
Pass intended for Adi Tipton taken away. Johnson got fouled. He'll shoot 2. Trying to become the first bench player to get points tonight for New Albany. As a few more folks start heading for the door.
There's been a few, but still a big crowd here. Until Romeo sits down, those people aren't going anywhere.
It might get chilly in here when that happens.
I know one thing, when all 8,000 plus got in here, it went from cool to pretty warm, and there's the sit down.
Langford has a seat. You kind of get the feeling that might be it for him. Johnson's free throw is good. This is the 13th game of the season that Johnson has appeared in. Averages 2 points a game. Those were his 6th and 7th free throw attempts on the year. And that's a turnover. Roberts couldn't keep it in play. And looking at the path ahead for New Albany, this is kind of the one game where you go, yeah, it's going to get lopsided. They will face outstanding teams every step of the way going forward. Number 4, Floyd Central tomorrow night. If they get past that, you would expect number 5, Bloomington South, to be awaiting. Potentially Center Grove after that in the regional final here in this building. 3 in time for Starks does not go. But again, first things first, you got Floyd Central tomorrow night. But I think it's safe to say with a 54-point lead going to the fourth quarter that this one is firmly in the win column for New Albany. Back for the fourth quarter next on the IHSAA Champions Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Fans, better educated coaches produce better athletes. You can help give high school coaches the training they need by contributing to the IHSAA Foundation. Make your tax-free contribution today at IHSAAfoundation.org. Greg Rakestraw, Jan Bozier with you on the IHSAA Champions Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Romeo Langford back out, not done yet.
Now the question will be, will any of the Jeffersonville or the Seymour people be willing to sell the tickets for tomorrow?
They're all coming back. They're all coming back to watch.
I think you're right.
8,000 strong in here tonight.
One of the great venues in high school sports.
Langford lays it up and in. So Langford and East each with 30 or more. Second largest active gymnasium in Indiana high school hoops. The Lloyd E. Scott Gymnasium only behind the Newcastle Chrysler Fieldhouse. McCory dials long distance for a third time this evening.
Yeah, Ty McCory, one of the seniors you talked about.
Langford cannot get his to go. And this Seymour club averaging 52 points a game, which is exactly what they scored versus Jennings County in their victory on Tuesday night. Bumped is Loudon. It'll be on the floor. Third foul of the half against New Albany.
I think the officials have really did a nice job. This is one of these, I tell you, this is a tough game to officiate. It really is. People go, why? Well, you don't want to slow it down. It's already pretty lopsided, but you have to get a good flow and call the obvious. And I think they did a really nice job of being balanced.
Perry, the catch and shoot. That's a 2 that does not go. Perry with 6 points. Oddie trailing Langford. Catch and shoot for Irvin that does not go.
Went up soft.
Anthony Irvin, a 5'8 junior, 2 points per basketball game. Perry kind of waiting for Langford to fly by. He doesn't.
This young kid wants to shoot again. He's starting to warm up a little bit.
McCory has 13 of the Seymour 25 in this one. Loudon with the move, but cannot finish. Loudon is yet to score. East, he's made 9 threes, not 10 yet. Langford has 32. East's got to be thinking, what got to do to be the leading scorer? I got 31 points. I'm not my team's leading scorer.
What I got to do?
Probably not play with Romeo Langford, which is something he doesn't want to think about.
I'm sure he's enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, Sean will be a very good college basketball player of his own accord next season, wherever he ends up, because those shooting numbers will translate. Max Oddie gets the basket, his first field goal in the seniors' final game at Seymour. East at the elbow changes his mind. Langford can't get him an assist. Looks like some more faces off the bench about to enter here for the Bulldogs. McCory again. Not that time. And a rather easy rebound for Romeo Langford.
Double digits in rebounding now.
Irvin for 3. Errant would be the way to describe that one. And now for New Albany. Romeo Langford done for the night. So he'll exit with 32 points. 2,883 is what he will head to tomorrow night's championship game with. For New Albany.
Boy, what a show this young man put on, Greg.
Cooper Bibbin will check in, and Sean East gets the recognition of the crowd.
East has given Floyd Central a little bit to think about between now and tomorrow.
Jordan Thomas in the game for the first time for New Albany.
I don't think it was a mystery by any sense of the imagination, but boy, he showed us what he's capable of tonight.
Well, East had at least 19 points in the first 5 games of the season for New Albany. It's right around his average as McCory bangs home another 3. On most nights when you make 4 threes, you've made the most threes of anybody in the gym. That's not been the case for McCory tonight, but he has had a good send-off game. Now Loudon gets fouled before the shot. Fourth foul against New Albany. And for those that aren't related to a player that's on the floor, they are mostly heading towards the exits as we speak. Seymour will finish 12-12. Perry gets the basket. He's got 8. But over these last 9 games for New Albany, this has kind of become a common time for these young men. Starks and Thomas miss shots. And the average margin of victory for the Bulldogs in the last 8, 45.5 points.
Well, the nice thing about being one of the reserves on New Albany, pretty much guaranteed some playing time most nights.
And those numbers will probably shrink going forward.
Yeah.
Loudon, no. Cummings the rebound. Fadeaway does not go. And Urban tracks it down for the Bulldogs. Now Bivin, nice pass to Thomas, who will lay it up and in. Thomas's first points of the game. For Thomas, this is his 3rd appearance of the season, and this is his first basket of the season. And Seymour's going to start to empty the bench here too. We'll get some young guys in the game, get them some sectional experience, and again, these are guys that will be their primary players next year. Perry, and 1. That might be a good note to end on for Alan Perry. Perry, the all-time leader in assists in Seymour's program history.
Well, it's a tough night, no doubt about it. No words can describe, it's 82-34, but at the end of the day, you're still a senior. You represent your school, and for a lot of these seniors, it'll be the last time that they're going to touch a basketball, so it's still an emotional thing. Boy, what a buzzsaw.
So Perry to shoot 1. He missed a free throw earlier. Makes that, and here comes the line change for Seymour. So for these seniors, they have left the program in a better place than it has been in some time.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Progress sometimes comes in little steps, little things.
Keaton Stout, Carson Frischie, Aiden Goen, Eric McCoy amongst those on the floor, and Braden Christopher. Only Goen played the first half of this group. And Goen was a midseason add from the junior varsity team for Seymour. Thomas on the baseline, no. Under 3 to play. The 97th win for New Albany in the Romeo Langford era. Chance to play for a 5th consecutive sectional crown tomorrow night. 3 is left short. And Johnson the pull down for the Bulldogs. The runner by Johnson, no. A couple of more players will check in soon for New Albany. Put back blocked by the Bulldogs. Irvin out of there with it for New Albany with 2 minutes to play. Spot up 3 by Bivin, no. And Goen collects the rebound for Seymour. Again, our cameras will be back here tomorrow night. Mark James, Jan Bozier. Covers at approximately 7:20 tomorrow evening here on the IHSAA Champions Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. The basket is good.
You look at this New Albany lineup and you go, well, they only have 2 seniors. Who are those 2 seniors? What, 50, 60% of all their offense? 70? East and Langford?
Braden Christopher got that basket for Seymour. Last 2 players to check in for New Albany about to do so. Caleb Brown, a sophomore. Free throw by Johnson is good. He is 3 of 3 from the line tonight.
Well, Greg, since you're not going to be with me tomorrow night, what's your thoughts on tomorrow night's ballgame?
It's going to be a great one. And again, I would say this. I think in the terms of a competitive game, I think the fact that Floyd Central won it, not Jeffersonville, will make it one. New Albany beat Jeff by 25, and because Jeff kind of plays a similar style to New Albany,
right,
they're not going to be better at that than New Albany. Floyd plays so dramatically differently than New Albany does, and their length in that matchup zone really gave New Albany fits back on December the 8th. 3 in the corner does not go for Seymour. Christopher tracks down the rebound. 3 here for the Owls is good. Keaton Stout with the triple. First player other than McCoy to make a 3 for Seymour. The lead at 44. But beating New Albany twice in the same year, that is a tough ask for Floyd Central. But what you sign up for in the Hoosier Hills Conference.
Exactly what you sign up for.
Steal by Seymour. And a basket.
Under a minute now.
Eric McCoy.
I'm not really sure how much that game earlier will play even into this game.
It was 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Langford was sick, missed most of the week of school.
And most people didn't even know that. We didn't even know that at the time.
Until after the game, yep.
Yeah, and kind of thought that he wasn't himself, but they really didn't want to talk about it.
Had 15 points in that game. 3, no. And you would expect New Albany to bring the ball in the front court, and that will be that for this evening's contest. Bulldogs led by as many as 54. They will win by 42. Final score of this one, New Albany 84, Seymour 42. The Owls season comes to an end at 12-2. And numbers 3 and 4 in the state will play for a sectional crown tomorrow night here at the Lloyd E. Scott Gymnasium. Jan, your final thoughts on this one?
Well, New Albany just came in, and you want your team to take care of business. That's exactly what they did. I go, wow. The real great thing for them is East. Man, if he brings that shooting touch tomorrow, that's a plus.
Romeo Langford, 32. Sean East, 31. Julian Hunter, 9. Trey Horrigan, 6 for New Albany. 16 for Ty McCory. 11 for Alan Perry to lead the way for Seymour. Again, thank you to our tremendous crew from the IHSAA Champions Network. For Rick Vanderweilen, Heath Shanahan, and J.C. Swertling, alongside Jan Bozier, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's sectional doubleheader. It's off Floyd Central and New Albany advance to tomorrow night's championship game, which can be seen right here on the IHSAA Champions Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance.